subscribe now and press the bell icon. Never miss an update.
Namaste, konnichiwa, hello. Welcome to the Nupur Tewari show. Let's talk business. Yes, we have been talking business from last 3 weeks, and today also we'll be talking business. Our expert is here. He's going to give us a lot of knowledge about automobile industry. Yes, automobile industry. And our expert is today Mr. Yanagase-san. So with big applause, with business applause, let's welcome Mr. Yanagase. Namaste, konnichiwa. Welcome to the Nupur Tewari show. Yanagase-san, let's talk business.
Thank you for having me, Nupur-san. My name is Yusuke Yanagase. I'm a freelance automobile component consultant, and I used to live in Detroit, Michigan, USA, which is the world automobile capital, for about 25 years. And also I'm a senior advisor for the American parts supplier, also ACMA, which is Indian Automobile Suppliers Association.
That's wonderful. For the viewers, I would like to say he's an expert in automobile industry. So this is a very good news for all the automobile industries who are watching the show or will be watching the show later. You have a lot to learn from Yanagase-san. So Yanagase-san, since we are concentrating especially on between India and Japan, so you'd like to know definitely the differences from the automobile industry in Japan from India. Like what kind of differences you find?
Well, the most significant difference between Japanese style and an Indian style is in Japan, in the auto industry, we have perfect like a pyramid structure for the supply chain, like a tier first, tier second, tier third. Even we have tier 4, 5s, and the capability of a tier 1 is they can design, they can test, and they can do the production by themselves. So OEM car company, they don't have to worry about, they only ask for tier 1s who can do the whole business on behalf of OEM, and which is a very, very unique style in Japan. And one of the difference in India is in India you have a pretty big major tier 1s, but you don't have a tier 2s and tier 3s, so very difficult to design and test and production by themselves on behalf of the car company. So I think in India you need more tier 2s and tier 3s.
Okay, so we have to have those tiers in India as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I hope that those who are listening, and especially the startup guys who are going for automobile startup, and they want to have investment from Japan, or want to do business with Japan, this is a very good information for them. So even for the existing industries, or for them as well. So the second question I have, the general common sense in the Japanese automobile industry, like if someone wants to work with Japanese automobile industry, like how do they approach? Like what kind of idea they should have?
In fact, Japanese car companies a very, very strong system, which is bottom up. In India, it's almost like a top down, just like USA. But at the bottom, engineer and the buyers, they have a pretty good power to make decision. So instead of looking for like a political connection or name dropping, you have to start from the bottom. You have to deal with the bottom engineer, bottom buyers. So in Japanese business, politics doesn't work.
So Japanese business politics doesn't work. Like you have to directly contact with the engineers.
Yes, you have to start from the bottom. Very
Okay.
important. Yes.
Okay. So yeah, I have heard and seen also the engineers who are joining. They're even cleaning the floor. They are even, doing the tightening the all the
Mhm.
screw and everything. So they do everything. It's not like they are just coming from a good institute and taking the best post. It's not like that in Japan. It doesn't work that way, right?
Right, because sometimes you think a young engineer or young buyers, they think they don't have any power, but sometimes they're the one to make decision. They're the one to select the supplier. So uh, don't go for the top management using some political connection and so on. But in Japan, it's very strict. You have to start from the bottom, which is Japanese style.
So here you are strictly you are saying don't go for any politics, like no political connection in Japan. It's like you have to contact with the engineers
Yes,
directly.
very important, and it's that's the best way. And
Mm-hmm.
uh, yes, well, in the USA, they're always saying that, well, I'm the president of the company, so I like to see the president of the Honda. It doesn't work in Japan. So
Oh, okay. So it would be very enlightening for all the Indians who want to do really business in the automobile industry or any other. I think in general you are talking about like how do they approach? It's not like president from one Indian company they cannot approach the president of another company in Japan. That they have to start from the engineers, right? That would
yes,
be good if you can little bit elaborate the thing so our viewers can understand the Japanese working culture.
sure. Uh, I'd like to give you some 4 steps for the practical approach. Number one, uh, I've seen a lot of companies catalog from the Indian part suppliers, and the catalog was saying that we are selling to everyone: Honda, Suzuki, Toyota, GM, Ford, TRW, everything. But you have to spell out that what kind of parts you're selling to this company instead of just saying the name of the company. That's number one. And number two is that you have to target the parts, which components, which parts you like to sell to the Japanese company, tier ones, tier twos, or even the OEM. Uh, you have to specify the target parts, and then don't go for the big trading firm or big trading consulting firm. And sometimes they don't even read the drawing. So you have to pick up and the target parts, and you have to start from the bottom. Sometimes they always ask me, "Oh, Mr. Yanagase, can you introduce a JETRO, Japanese government?" But the JETRO is the part of the government to support the imports and export, but their responsibility is to give you the data or to give you the list. Uh, since they are the part of the government, they cannot work for individual company, which is not fair for the government. But all they do is just give you the list. But uh, again, you have to find the target and start from the beginning. Uh, and the number three, uh, when you pick up the target parts, you can buy the parts at the Japanese car dealers. So you can buy the parts, and then you can do the benchmark, which is very important. The benchmark is the key to approach the Japanese company. Sometimes the benchmark result is not that good, but that's okay. You have to show the true data after the benchmark when you approach the company, tier ones or sometime OEM. Uh, and number four, we have already tier two and tier threes in Japan. In order to compete these people, uh, after the presentation, sometimes they said very skeptical. They ask a lot of questions about the data, about your catalog, about your production performance. But it's very important to PR express your strengths, your capability. But sometimes you have to tell, oh, by the way, we like to learn this area because we know your Japanese component is better than us, but we love to learn how to make it And that's the very important attitude. And the Japanese companies are very specially uh, teaching you. So they love the supplier who's very honest and try to challenge. So again, when you approach the Japanese company, you have to just be honest and tell the true capability. And they love to teach you.
Very good, very enlightening. Actually, what I picked up from here for the viewers that we have to be very komakai, like very specially, like you said, like catalog. It's not that okay. I'm supplying Honda.
Mm, mm,
I'm supplying for other big
mm,
companies.
mm.
Rather, what you are supplying, that is the most important thing.
Yes,
Which
yeah.
part you are supplying.
A lot
Yeah.
of companies just saying that the name of the company, the Ford, the GM, or TRW, the Bosch. So when you see the catalog, they say, "Wow, it's great." But when it comes down to the question, okay, which part you're selling? Oh, no, no, we are not selling to Honda direct. We're not selling to Toyota direct. Just a tier two, tier three. Okay, so that's what they like to know, and and by saying so, you can tell that you were very honest, and the Japanese company always welcome the honest company. So I understand you like to show the bigger, eh, but the bottom line is to show the honest and your own capability. So they love to teach you.
So that is the authenticity and honesty very much important rather than show off. So I
Hmm.
think this is here our viewers and all those business people, business minded people, they have to understand this is authenticity, like exactly what you're doing and exactly what you want. That is
Hmm.
most important, and not the show off, like, hey, I'm doing with Toyota or Honda. Rather, how you're doing and which part you are doing with what with honesty. I think this
Yeah,
is actually you meant to say.
yeah. Well, I understand they like to show up, show off, but at least you have to translate the catalog into Japanese. That's the minimum. That's a given. But on top of that, to show the data of the benchmarking, which is very important. And but again, there's no free lunch. Oh, I know this people. I know vice president of Toyota and this is Suzuki, but the Japanese companies they don't like a name dropping anyway. So you have to start from the beginning, and also they're welcome the very honest and challenging company out of India. They're always looking for those people anyway.
Yeah. So this is also another point you have mentioned that it's not that I know some companies vice president or president doesn't work in Indian
Hmm.
sorry Japanese company. So it's like, okay, I really want to work with you. This is my product. This is the way we work, and this is most important. Rather showing off that, oh, I know the president, I know the vice president. So
Hmm.
this is the thing which most of the Indian companies they do. We have to just stop doing, and we have to be very authentic. We have to be very specified, like what really specific rather, and honesty very
Yes.
important to approach the Japanese company.
But the Japanese engineers are always looking for those data after benchmark, and sometimes the suppliers just go to Honda or Toyota and see the buyer. Can you buy from us? Here's a catalog. It doesn't work. When you provide some good data benchmark, oh, this is a Toyota parts, this is a Honda parts, and also this is our parts. Not we are not perfect, but to show the true statement, and they said, okay, we understand your capability, we can teach you. So that's the difference from just talk about that we are great, we can do everything. We can do everything means you cannot do anything. So it's very critical, but it's to have to be very careful. I understand you like to show off anyway, but uh, the the bottom line is very engineering meeting is very important, and that's the biggest hurdle. So uh, yeah, think about the 4 points, and again, Japanese car company and suppliers are always welcome to competitive and honest suppliers.
That's great. That's really wonderful. This is the way you already told the viewers. and all the people who want to do business with Japan, that how to approach Japanese company, like honesty, authenticity, specification. They have to be very specific. This is the way you already said. But one thing actually, I really want to know that how they can improve. Like, people think in Indian business, when they feel like approaching Japanese company is very difficult because of the language differences, one, cultural differences two, and those two become very big hurdles, and they cannot reach to real, especially when it comes to investor even, and the really what they want to sell. What do you think, Yanagase, and how we can fill up this gap?
Well, in our industry, automobile industry, there's always the common way, common road, and whatever you produce, and also whatever you did the validation test results, and by having those data and a good profile and the catalog, and then that's enough. And then the first meeting with the engineer, buyer, but that's the first hurdle. But don't hide and don't make you look too big, and that's very important. Otherwise, after they find out some kind of the false report or some benchmark result is not that good, and then I don't think you can get the reputation back. So again, just like the other company, other business in India or USA, just approach the buyer, pinpoint the buyer name, pinpoint the engineer, and then start from the bottom. Yes.
Great, Yanagase, and I'm sure the viewers, all the people, they are very much enlightened. And here I want to say one thing for the viewers, that you can see how humble a Japanese person is, having so much experience. Yanagase-san, he started by introducing himself like a freelancer, though he could have introduced himself like a lot of big credentials, like I'm this, I was that, I was this. But he introduced himself when we started this show with so much having the humble heart. So I think this is the important thing for those viewers who are watching, how you can start with Japanese companies. And Yanagase-san is our expert. Any questions you have, viewers, you can always write to us. We will love to guide you, and we'd love to. Yanagase-san always here. I can forward those questions to him, and he's here, so I'd love to take more and more interview from him. So everyone, that's all for today. Thank you so much, Yanagase-san. Thank you for taking out your time and giving us your time and giving us so much knowledge. Well, and I'd love to have you again and again.
Yeah. Anyway, again, Japanese companies are always welcome and open. So please don't forget they're open. They don't have some stereotype or any problem, political problem, but they're always open. And so good luck, and I'm always behind you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Yanagase-san. Thank you so much. And namaste, arigatou gozaimashita. So everyone, I'm sure you came to know the Japanese way of working, Japanese productivity, how to contact with them, with what kind of quality you need. You don't have to do the show off. What you need to do, your authenticity, your honesty, and your quality actually, which matter. And those things are important to Japanese. So everyone, as I always say, that through this show, we are going to promote your business, and we are going to tell your startup stories, and definitely our experts are there to give you lots of knowledge. If you like this show, do share with your friends, family, and people who really want to start their business or doing business. Do subscribe our channel. Do like our page, Yogannanupur. So everyone, today we are done here. So we will see you next Friday. Subratri, good night, Uesminasai. Stay tuned.
Subscribe now and press the bell icon. Never miss an update.